Hello, everybody. It's Mike at Why Should I Refer You? I love that title. I hope everybody's doing well. I just wanted to do our last bit on culture. And the culture I want to talk about is a culture of getting referrals, but doing so in a way that reduces risk. Last time we talked about CPR, cultivate, plant, and reap, and about how we have to think like a farmer. This time, I want us to think like a hunter. And this is where we get into the micro strategy for my book, Can I Borrow Your Car? Basically, I don't know anyone named somebody that can refer me to someone. I only know people. I only remember people and companies. And so the more specific you get when you are transitioning into looking for the exact type of referrals you want, the better you're going to be. The culture part of this is basically to be nice about it. When you don't have a culture of doing the research and doing the work yourself, and yes, we're going to have a bigger episode on giving referrals and getting referrals. So that's going to be the next skill series. But when you don't have a culture of reducing risk, of understanding that even when you're asking for referrals, right, you're at, in essence, even before you've been given one, you're borrowing a car. That car is your referral source's time. And so you've got to be thinking at all times as much as you can about being super respectful and exhibiting that you're a safe driver, even before you're given the keys to any car. And so how do we do this? We do this by taking on the true obligation that any person in sales has, and that's to do your own daggone research, right? It's not my job, if you want referrals from me, to figure out what you do and what a good client is, and then figure out which of my clients want to meet you. No. What we need to do instead is have a professional sales mindset, no matter what industry you're in, whether you're a financial planner or you're an outside salesperson for a enterprise business, right? Multinational enterprise business. No matter what, your job is to know your territory, right? We talked a little bit about this in the past, but like your job is to know your own territory. Your job is to know who exactly you want as an ideal client, why you want them as an ideal client, what you're going to do for them, why it's in their best interest. And this is where we get into having this cultural mindset of doing your job, of doing your own research. So what's this look like? It looks like, number one, figuring out who exactly you want to sell to. For some of you, like if you're in copier sales, you probably already got a hit list. You probably have already got a long list of stuff. Good news, you're way ahead of it. You know, maybe if you're doing government contracting stuff, same thing. You know the departments that you were tasked with selling into. You are doing a pretty good job doing account-based marketing, account-based selling, and you're trying to surround your decision makers and trying to always find out who's there. But let's go to financial services. This is not normal in that industry where you're doing research about exactly who you want to meet and making sure that you are working on it. I just released a blog on my paid Substack and talked about 200, 150, right? And so basically the culture is this. I want to challenge you to make sure that you, as part of your culture, that you are being specific. I'll always remember Hazel Walker, a great friend of mine. She's franchisee, longtime B&I director, an absolutely brilliant business person. Brilliant. And she's like, specific is terrific, right? It's old, but it's true, right? And so your culture is going to be, I am always going to know exactly how many clients I need to get in the next 12 months. I'm always going to be measuring my effectiveness as a salesperson, no matter what industry, so that I know how many meetings, like real meetings, not like, bump into them at the store, but like real face-to-face or good Zoom meetings that I need to get to result in my ideal number of clients. And then I also got to know, okay, well, to get those meetings, because there's two closes. There's the close to get the meeting, which we usually don't measure. And then there's the close to get the business, which we always measure. So I want to encourage you to know what that other number is, that top of the funnel number. How many identified ideal prospects with a networked map of who's connected to them and how. Like, what's that number two? Maybe it's 200, maybe it's 300, maybe it's 50. I don't know. It's up for you. And that's where doing your own job comes in. You need to know your numbers. If you don't know your numbers and you want some help, you can always reach out, right? But at the end of the day, I bet you actually do if you take some time. And so remember, what people think of as prospecting is usually direct calling, direct interrupting, things like that, right? Or asking for referrals. But like there's a step ahead of that. You got to do your research. You need to know your numbers. Those numbers will then drive your research to be more effective. And this is the culture of being a hunter. You can't just run into the woods and hope that you're going to bag exactly what you need. You need to know the land. You need to know your territory. You need to know your target species. And it's the same thing in sales, except hopefully we're regenerative. So we're not out there trying to kill people or shoot people. We're trying to get business. And then because of who and what we are knowing that whenever we acquire new clients, we're also potentially acquiring a new referral source. So I hope you've enjoyed this first skill series on culture. The next skill series is we're going to dive deeply into giving referrals. And that may start up in a week or two. I know that I've got at least one or two podcast interviews in between this series and the next, but let us know what you think about the process. Let us know what we can do better. And most of all, we would love, because I love referrals and I know you do too, we'd love suggestions about great sales professionals that have some expertise in the referral game. We'd love, whatever industry, right? We'd love to be introduced to them and potentially have them on the podcast, and maybe even you. Anyways, be lucky, be good, but most of all, be human. Peace.